point where he's going on and on and on about how he can't help it and the murders and everything. It's just that was a point in the movie where I was so drawn into his character that I felt bad for him. I did. I felt terrible for him. But at the same time, I despised him for what he does, his actions. And it was almost like I was trying to separate the feeling for him as a person and my disdain for the actions that he had committed. And that is very difficult to do, by the way. It's like this internal struggle that you have because you want to help the character. You see and you believe that he obviously can't help it, but yet at the same time you know the actions that he committed, and you can't set that aside. You can't push that out of your mind because they're so horrendous and terrible. And it's just, it really makes you think. This is the basis of psychological thrillers, I think. And Lang, he doesn't leave his message so simplistically. He makes sure that we know Laurie's side, Peter Lorre's side, however twisted it becomes. And the antagonist is shown as human, as opposed to the present day thrillers where the killers are barely given one dimension, let alone two. I mean, the dimensions that his character has make me feel sorry for him, but at the same time, I want to rationalize that he couldn't help it, but I know I can't. And it's just, I don't know when the last time a movie's ever made me feel this bad for a murderer, to the point of wanting him to be put in an asylum instead of put on, death row or given death penalty or killed. And it's just, it's difficult. It's difficult to get through the end of this movie because you start off, hating the fact that this person is obviously killing children, which you cannot forget, like I said. But the way the film plays out really messes with your mind. And, obviously the man's insane. He's never going to be able to reform from what he's become. But that's almost the beauty of it, I think, because he gets caught. There's another spoiler. He gets caught because of something that was so simple, so unbelievably easy to not do. And it brands him. But he gets caught because of a distinctive whistle that he uses throughout the movie. And you see him, he's so careful with everything, and he plays this role where he's almost acting out. When he writes the letter, for instance, he writes a letter to the inspectors, and the letter's being looked at and interpreted, and the interpreter is saying that this letter is done because he's trying to act out yet another part. He's trying to make the inspectors think he's something that he's not, when he easily could have been caught for that. But because they didn't have, obviously the fingerprint technology they have now, where they're able to, pull a fingerprint from anything, they could only determine what his mental thoughts were, or what his psyche would have been at the time, basically. So they're trying to get into the mind of the serial killer, who is so in tune to himself that he can be the nicest guy on the street, yet completely insane, and at the same time act a totally different part. It's more than it's three-dimensional if you think about it, because of the way that he acts. And it's just, God, it's an amazing film. Like I said, I can't say enough about it, but it's a fascinating, exciting thriller type of movie. It's an intelligent crime story that shows police and criminals working on different sides and with different means to achieve the same purpose. I mean, where are you going to see criminals band together to help the police inspectors because they're so afraid of this murderer? It's if you can laugh at the idea of criminals banding together, you have to be able to respect some of the other things in the movie. Like, you can't laugh at some of the policemen in the movie. Like Inspector Lohman, I almost wanted to laugh at him. Like, I found myself smiling, obviously, while I was seeing him come onto the screen. But it's played by Otto Wernicke, I guess is his name. And he's one of the most intelligent detectives I think ever to grace cinema. He's overweight, he's cranky, he's the unlikely hero. He's shrewd though, and he can read into a person's personality in a split second, just at a glance. He knows exactly what the person's personality is, and he can tell you, okay, well this guy obviously did it. He's mental, and he's wanting the attention, but yet he wants to get away with it at the same time, and he just knows, and you don't see that with actors now. You don't see their character progress to something like that, and then to play the part as well as he did, it was wonderful. And there's just, I don't know, it's great. I knew, or at least I highly expected, that M would be an amazing movie, but I didn't imagine that an 80-year-old movie was going to hold up so well in terms of, cinematography, sound, pacing, acting, the structure of the film. Very few movies achieve such a synthesis of qualities. And there is no doubt in my mind that M deserves the recognition it continues to receive, from film historians and people who review it. And it's just, I think it was the blueprint for a lot of the psychological thrillers that are out there now. I think Silence of the Lambs, the way that draws out and how psychological that is, and you get into the characters there too. But I think this film really takes the cake for it, though. I mean, it's amazing. And the way that it's shot, because it's shot in black and white, much like I am right now, and the subtitles that are there, if you don't like subtitles, it can kind of bother you. But the subtitles, reading the subtitles but hearing the German language at the same time, I think it has more of an impact on you while you're watching the film than if it was just everyone speaking in English, or if I knew German and I was watching it without subtitles. It almost seems like it adds more to the film, I think, that way. But I hope you'll all check it out. And if you didn't get into it the first time that you watch it again. Wait a bit, but watch it again. It's a film that each time you watch, you find yourself seeing something completely different that you didn't see the time before, and it jumps out at you. Like you watch it all the way through, and I know it's a rather long film, but that's why I said wait a bit in between. But when you watch it again, it's just little things, they jump out at you, and you sit there and you're like, how did I miss that the first time? And it kind of makes more sense as you're watching the rest of the film, that you see the little things that you missed the first time around. So that is my review. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I know I enjoyed this movie a lot. Thank you, Greg, for suggesting this. But yeah, this is definitely one that is going to be a film I watch probably 2, 3, 4 times a year at least. It just for the cinematography alone, beautifully shot. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you next week.